Hi, this is Jeremy Kellett, Director of Recruiting here at Oakley Trucking, and I'm your host for this podcast. This is episode number 50. We have come a long way since starting the Oakley Podcast almost a year ago, and I tell you what, it has been a great success, and we appreciate everybody's interest in it and all the feedback that you guys have given us over this past 50 weeks. So for our 50th episode, we have a special little treat for you guys. We have two new owner-operators and one owner-operator that came back to us going through orientation this week, and we wanted to hear from them, hear from their perspective on orientation and what they did this week. It's going to be a great episode coming up. I want you guys to stay with us, and we'll get some good information from them. But first, let's hear from Vicki Chastain on this week's Need to Know segment, brought to you by Arrow Truck Sales.
Looking to earn extra money fast? One conversation could earn you up to $5,150. Referring a driver is a great way to make extra money here at Oakley Trucking. If you have someone that would be a good fit for Oakley, contact the recruiting department and give them their name and number. Once we get in touch with them to make sure they are a qualified lead, you will receive $150 on your next settlement. If the owner-operator is leased on, you will receive $5,000. $2,500 after they have completed 45 days and $2,500 after 90 days. I am Vicki Chastain, and that's this week's Need to Know segment.
So, Arrow Truck Sales, new sponsor of the Oakley Podcast. Be sure and give these guys a call and talk to them about what trucks they have. They've got a lot of trucks that are 5-year newer, all makes and models, less than 400,000 miles on them. They specialize in first-time truck buyers. Good people that we've worked with for years. The best part probably was working with these guys at Arrow Truck Sales out of Springfield, Missouri, is the service after the sale. They take care of you after you buy the truck. Love dealing with Keith Wilson at Arrow Truck Sales out of Springfield, Missouri. They're running a promo right now. You buy a truck from Arrow Truck Sales, Springfield, Missouri, you get a $250 fuel card and a CB radio. You mentioned that you heard it on the Oakley Podcast. Give them a call, Arrow Truck Sales, 573-216-6047. Okay, let's get started on this special 50th episode of the Oakley Podcast. First, let's talk about orientation and what took place this week. Did it meet your expectations? Or, all you hear of orientation is, oh, crap, I got to go to orientation, and I'm not making any money, and it's frustrating, and I got to do all this stuff. Somebody that's thinking about coming to Oakley, you guys give us what you think about orientation. You can start whichever one of you want to start or chime in. What about it, Tommy?
I tell you, it was beyond my expectations. I've been thinking about it a long time. I got a friend that works here. He's been here almost 10 years with y'all now, doing real good. He's in the Pneumatic division. But, I've watched him grow through y'all while I was out doing what I was doing. And I told my wife the other day second day in here, I said, we should have done this a long time ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I got tied up in a lease purchase deal, and it didn't work out, It was hit or miss, never making no money.
So what made you tell your wife that second day you were here?
Just once I got in here and the way everybody's approached me and, brought me in and helped me get everything situated, and, the shop even done some things for me that I was going to have to pay for on the outside. I had to move my fifth wheel on the truck that I purchased. It was all the way at the back, and they moved it up for me for free.
Awesome.
Just everybody's been real welcoming everywhere I go around here. So,
what about you, Robert?
Well, the first time I went to it, it really exceeded my expectations. I knew it was the right fit, and coming back, it's just a kind of a refresher course.
Yeah,
I knew what I was getting into when I come back. Hated to really leave.
How long you been gone?
6 months.
Okay.
Yep. So, just sitting there thinking one night, I'm not making any money where I'm at. And I wasn't having any fun here. Everybody's real nice, helpful. They keep you busy. You make money here.
So I know guys probably had a lot of questions about, all right, if you were just gone 6 months, why did you have to go back through orientation? Which there's more to that. It's we know that stuff, but was it helpful to go back through it? Did you learn anything?
I didn't learn. Well, the only thing I learned new is that safety has cracked down a little bit more on the safety aspect of it. As far as everything else, I still remembered it. I still retained it. But, I mean, you got to get recertified on your brakes and get recertified through safety, get everything set back up for your tags on your truck. And I still have my wet line and all on it, so I didn't have to worry about it.
That saved you some,
Yep.
and you kept it.
Yeah, I kept it. So, I mean,
Never took it off the truck?
Never took it off.
There
Never
you
even pumped oil out of it.
There you go. Good.
So all I had to do is put my blocks in, put my stuff in the truck, light out.
What about you, John? Had you been to any other orientation before?
Yes, sir. I've been to a couple of them before, 2 of them before, and so just the thought of coming and sitting in a classroom, and I guess the idea of, when I think of orientation, it's like wrapping your lips around a fire hydrant, and they open that thing full blast, and you just got all this information, and you're just like, oh. But what I found to be different with Oakley was the patience that, whether it was a shop or Rudolph or anybody that was coming in and talking, there was this patience and this, they can almost see that some of us, you got the deer, the deer in the headlight, and they can see that, and they slow down and explain things, and they're very patient with you. And I felt like that was a key element in this orientation, was the patience, but also along the streamline. I didn't feel like we were covering information that most truck drivers know, like the standard stuff. So we weren't going over stuff, that we should be expected to know already. So we were specifically pinpointing things that you need to know about this industry, and I really was helped with that.
Well, anytime you can make something interesting and learn something, I mean, it makes it more tolerable. You can sit through it, if you're learning something. If it's all the same old stuff and, hey, I'm going to throw in these videos and see you guys in 5 hours, that ain't going to work. And that's something we've tried to stay on task with that, because, and we're bad about sometimes, John, of that fire hydrant deal of loading you down with information, and then it comes, Thursday in time to get out here, and you got a stack of papers this tall, and you don't know which way to turn, and it's a little bit overwhelming, we know, and you're afraid of making mistakes and that kind of stuff. But I guess you couldn't have a better orientation coordinator than Randolph, could you?
No.
Yeah, he was excellent.
Yeah. He knows his stuff.
Yeah.
Did he make up any names for you guys? He's always bad about remembering whose name is what.
At least not to our face. So.
No, I think he's kept it straight.
He kept it straight?
Yeah.
That's a first for him. Usually he makes up some stuff on it. What about what brought you guys to Oakley? I mean, you got a guy that's over here,
Yeah, and I was, I was company driver for the longest time, and I guess technically it's going to be my real first owner operator kind of deal for me, I guess, because I was in a lease purchase thing with my last company, but basically I was a company driver just having to pay on the truck. So this is going to be my first thing, and so that's why I was real impressed by how everybody brought me in, and everybody's been able to help me and stuff. And Kent and recruiting, he helped me with some things, and so it's a whole new experience for me. But I'm really looking forward to it.
So
now.
You bought a truck to come over here?
Yeah, I went and bought me a truck to come over here.
Okay, this is besides you quit the lease purchase, went and bought your own truck.
Right. Yes, sir.
How'd that process go?
It went pretty smooth. I went through, the SFI deal and got me a truck.
Oh, did
through
you?
Them, yes. But as far as the other truck, it's one of them. You walk away.
Yeah, this one's yours.
Yeah, this one's mine.
Gonna be for sure.
Right.
Well, that's a different risk when you decide I'm going to buy my own truck and go become an owner operator and give up this probably comfort job of having a steady paycheck every week to becoming an owner operator. How do you decide to do that?
Yeah, I've been wanting to do it. I just never pulled the trigger on it, and finally things got where I could do it, and my life and stuff, and so I finally decided to step in. Like I said before, I watched my friend that's worked here. I watched him grow over the years here, and I said, man, that's the place for me.
Good.
Yeah.
What about you, John? You been owner operator for a while?
Yeah, owner operator going on just over 2 years. Before that, I was a 1099 for about 2 years before that, and then So I think what kind of drove me, if we're going to continue the same question, was, company driver. There's no challenge in it. It's just, you know what to expect, and then that's it. And I'm not one of those people. I'm driven. I need something to challenge me. And being an owner-operator, you have to be on top of so many things. You got to be so actively involved. It's one thing to come in as a company guy, put the key in it, turn it on, and drive from A to B, back to A, and see you tomorrow. With this job, being an owner-operator, challenge you to in the innovation and the technology. You're constantly looking and learning. We were having lunch, and it was like that saying, once you think that you know everything about trucking, you better retire. And so that's kind of what drives me as the owner, to be involved as an owner-operator. It's just the challenge of it, just the drive of it.
Well, there's a lot more things to learn as an owner-operator. How long you been one?
I bought my first truck in 2014.
Okay.
And like everybody else, I started out as a company driver, and it wasn't challenging enough. And plus, everybody kept on telling me, "Well, you don't have the brain power to own your own business.
Come on,
and make money." So
they would tell you that.
A couple of my friends actually told me that. So I went out and did it.
You proved them wrong, didn't you?
Here, kiss it. Pretty much.
And you've done good since then, haven't you?
I have. Yep. And I was on Facebook, and I kept on seeing Oakley trucks riding up and down the interstate, and I've always been around end dumps all my life. Been raised up on a farm. We had our own end dump, so I just figured, hey, why not give it a shot? I talked to a couple guys, and there was another driver that lived close to me, Michael Tyson. He's not here anymore.
I remember that name.
His truck blew up back a month and a half ago. So, but talked to him, talked to a few others, and they talked real highly of Oakley and kept showing me different things, and decided to give it a shot. And I love it.
Good. What are you guys expecting here in the next month? We were just talking to that guy down there that's been here a month that said he'd run 10,000 miles his first month, and he's trading trucks, that quick. What do you guys expect to do here in this first month? I guess Rupert, since you've done it before, but.
My plan is, and I'm getting ready to be 51 years old. Whenever I get this truck paid for, I'm going to make it last as long as I can, and then I'm going to slow down a little bit.
There you go.
I've had health problems. I've still got health problems. So.
And you're going to pull a dump trailer, right?
Yeah.
And Tommy's going to pull a dump, and John's going to pull a hopper.
Yes, sir.
Got you. What do you guys, two new guys, expect to happen? What's your hopes that's going to happen in this next month?
I hope just to get out there and get into a comfort zone and learn everything, and start making a good, start seeing a good profit from it, and build up my revenue and stuff. Since I'm fresh and new to it, so I got a lot of building to do.
Man, I'm just, two things. I pulled in this yard and I see a lot of nice trucks. A lot of nice trucks. So that's a testimony of where I came from. A lot of their trucks were newer, but they were worn down. And so, second of all, I try to live by this motto, work smarter, not harder. And so I've talked to some drivers and kind of seen what the plan was with this business, that you can work reasonably, stay reasonably busy, but not to the point where you're killing yourself and not having that time to invest in your family or community or whatever you want to do on your off time. So I'm looking at making a fair amount of money, because I'm looking around seeing some nice trucks, some guys reinvesting and knowing that they're comfortable with doing that, because these fellows here at KW are just a base model 680, I think, is $154,000. Well, so if guys are willing to go out, reinvest in brand new trucks here at Oakley, that tells me that there's a good plan here for making money.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited about that.
That's good. And I think that's exactly, that's what it's funny you say that, work smarter, not harder, because that to me is a plan from Oakley. We want our guys to work smarter, not harder. y'all probably remember the days where it was just you had to kill yourself to make. I mean, every phone call I got as a recruiter was, I need miles, I need miles, I need miles. And I'm like, well, you want miles or you want money? Because there's a difference, and you can work yourself to death and not bring home a paycheck.
Exactly.
To take care of your family. And, to us, we want you, we want you to get miles too, but the plan is maybe less miles where you're not killing yourself and you're still making that money. And that's the whole plan. I mean, that I think everybody wants on. We've seen it go from working like that to staying out weeks on the road to now almost everybody that we lease on seems like wants home on the weekends. Have y'all seen that change?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's are y'all going home on the weekends? Is that y'all's plan? Or
Eventually down the road, I told them, I run a couple of weeks at a time without any problem. I don't mind staying out.
It's turned to that. I mean, and I understand that. We're part of the reason we've kind of created that to where you can make plenty of money and take the weekend off.
Yeah.
It's made it tough on dispatch, but they were telling me down there, they said, you guys need to hire some people that will work weekends because they said, we need people that will work weekends. I'm like, well, what do you do? We're trying to do the best we can. They said, man, let's have them work from Wednesday to Wednesday or, take off a couple days during the week. We need weekend work. But it's all gone to that home time is very important to the truck driver. We see that all the time.
Yeah. Might have a different outlook come college football season. We'll
Yeah.
see how it looks then around about September.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Okay, guys, let's take a quick break and let's listen to a conversation I had with one of our owner-operators, Ken Bill, that uses Lube Zone.
I've been dealing with Lube Zone before they were Lube Zone, when they were Beeline, at least in Brookshire. They're still just as good as they've always been. Lube Zone is probably turned up the notch a little bit better. Their service is excellent. I've never had any problems with. They've always done good work. They're professional people. They treat you good. They've got a good place there. It's always kept clean, neat. They're good people. I haven't had any problems with them.
Are they fast and pretty efficient?
Yeah. They don't. There's no messing around there. I mean, that's they get to it and they don't mess around. They get to it and they get it done.
How long does it normally take?
About an hour.
And what are you getting done?
I'm getting a full service on the truck alone. Full service on that.
What are some of the little services that they have that maybe another place doesn't have?
Last time I was there, they changed the windshield wipers for me. They don't charge for that unless they, at least the last time I was there, they didn't. As far as I know, they were doing batteries. I think they still are there. When I was there last month, I was getting oil changed and I was looking through their store there and I noticed a headlight cleaner. I was asking, one of the hands was in there and he said, yeah, that's great stuff. He says, I'll tell you what I'll do. If you buy it, I'll put it on for you. I'll do your headlights for you. He did my headlights for me and they look good.
All right.
And I was really surprised. Yeah, but he did a great job, and he was excited about it. I mean, I told him, I said, man, you take a lot of pride in what you do. He says, yeah. I was really impressed with it.
Have you referred anybody to Lube Zone? Do you refer people to Lube Zone?
Yeah, occasionally I do if I know they're going to be around there or somebody's, looking for a place. They ask me if I know where a oil changing place is or something, and I can think about them. And, like they're up there on 20 in Sweetwater, I'll say, well, there's a Lube Zone up there. I've used them before. They do good work. And then the one in Houston, too, I've done before. And I I told a couple of our drivers before, I said, there's a place there, they do good work there, too.
Are they pretty convenient to get to?
All easy places to get to and get around in.
I appreciate you doing it, man, taking time out of your day to do it.
All right, not a problem.
Lube Zone has a new promotion that is running March 1st through April 30th. A driver would be able to earn an additional $50 bonus reward for using Shell Rotella during their oil change. Tell them you heard it on the Oakley Podcast. So let's get back to our conversation with John, Tommy, and Rupert.
Well, one of the reasons I chose to start out in Hopper was, as a businessman, I'm looking at the best way to make money is to have less expenses. And I came out of oversized farm machinery and stuff like that. So I'm just constantly buying chains and straps, and that's just it's a big investment. And it's a constant investment. So my goal to start out with Oakley with the hopper is there's little to no expenses. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
It's your trailer. It's got a couple of cranks on it. Here we go, tires. So with the intention of learning, and then revisiting. Hey, what about dump? Or actually, probably what catches my eye the most, because I have good tanker experience, is the pneumatics.
Good.
So,
Good.
But that'll be down the road.
Yeah, because it's a different pay grade from the hopper pays, and the dump pays a little more because you're required to have the wet kit, the equipment, the trailer raises up and down. You go in places that are different than where a hopper may go. Then the pneumatic is a little more strenuous with maybe customers and stuff, but it pays the most. So it's, I think that's a great idea. I mean, that's how we get most of our pneumatic guys is swapping divisions and moving up, just like John's talking about. We get a lot of that, just like your buddy did.
Yeah.
I think he started on the end dump.
Yeah, he did.
So I mean, it's a different fit for everybody, and I think that's good that you got those want-tos to do a little something different, and I thank goodness we got those options at the same place. I've always said that you can change jobs and never leave the company.
Right.
Keep all your tenure and your bonus and all that good stuff.
That's my goal too, to move up eventually to a pneumatic.
There
I
you
just
go.
couldn't do it right out of the hole.
Yeah,
So,
it's expensive.
One thing at a time.
It's expensive, especially when you're buying a truck.
Yeah.
And just getting into it and then buying that equipment is takes a toll on you for sure. So,
Yep.
So orientation, you had Monday. You rolled in here Sunday night, stayed in the hotel. Holiday Inn, it all good?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it was good.
sir.
Wonderful.
Was it? Good deal. Showed up here Monday morning at 6:45, 7 o'clock. Got with Randolph. We did physicals. Hey, did y'all know y'all are the first group to go over to the new physical place?
Yeah, he told us that.
How'd that go?
It went pretty good.
It was real good.
I
Yep.
mean,
It's smooth.
physicals are
Yeah.
not good, I know, but
Yeah, they definitely check you out on everything as far as all the the bending and stretching, and a couple of the last ones I've done where I was going before, they didn't even check you out as far as bending over and touching your toes and things like that, and little strength exercises
Yeah.
for your legs and arms. They did all that in there.
that's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
so
Okay, so we got physical Monday. Then, of course, you go to lunch. Randolph good at taking y'all to lunch.
Yep.
Go to lunch, then spend Monday afternoon going through handbook for the most part, right? And
Yes,
then
sir.
Hotel picks you up, shuttles you back and forth from the hotel, and everything good over there at night. You got a restaurant and stuff, so that's all good. And excuse me, they bring you back the next morning, all day safety.
yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, when somebody says I got to spend all day with safety, what's that make you think? Johnson, yeah,
Makes me question if you want to leave a job.
it's gonna be a long day.
But I tell you what, it was really smooth. I mean,
Yeah.
Roger knows his stuff, and he kept it. He put everything out on the table straight to the point, but then he kept it light too, and so it's just you just blowed right through it,
Yeah.
streamlined.
I think personality has a huge impact on how you do an orientation, and the fellas and the ladies that were involved in this orientation, they had that type of personality where it wasn't coming in and going wah 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 wah, especially after these taking us out to a lunch and feeding us 800,000 calories, and we come in here and talking safety, and you're just like, and so Roger I really enjoyed, and he's a man of much experience, and so the way he shared the information was coming from a level of experience, and so I enjoyed that quite a bit.
Yeah, that's good. We got a great safety department. Roger does an excellent job. So we got safety on Tuesday, then Wednesday a little bit more safety, but I think I might have been done with it Tuesday, but sometimes a little bit that with Wednesday, and signing leases, getting your fuel card.
ELD.
All that went pretty. ELDs
Yeah.
today, that all go smooth?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty simple.
I like that new system so far. See how it does on the road.
Yeah.
I'm kind of skeptical of it. I mean, I
Oh, wait a minute. Are y'all doing the new phone system?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
All of you?
Yes.
Yep, all three of us.
Sweet. Good.
After going through the videos and listening to Allison and Dustin, I kind of want the Omnitracks back.
Are you? How come? Why you say that?
To me, it just seemed like it was easier because it was all right there. It was all integrated. You didn't have to swap between screen to screen to screen to screen to get everything set up to do it. Whenever your loads come in, they were right there. I mean, everything was accessible with the old Omnitrack system. I thought it was.
But now this, and I'm not familiar with this new system. I haven't been trained on or looked at it, but I do know it's using your own cell phone, right?
Yeah.
Or you could put it on a tablet.
Okay.
Whatever's easily accessible. From my experience, I think the Omnitracks, that Qualcomm thing, is a good wheel chock. So that's about as what they're good for.
About all you want it for.
Yeah, it's about all I want it for. I never liked them. I mean, I agree. Kind of, you get used to how the system works, but for I guess the way I think it did not flow very well because you had between your hours of service and you had the macros, and the company I come from, we had 62 macros on there. That you were constantly, and it's just like you were back and forth, and you would have to stop to look at your hours. It just, I don't know. I'm hopeful that this new system seems to flow better for the driver.
And less stuff in your way in your truck, right? I mean,
Yes.
because that thing's got to be mounted. But this, I guess, has this got a mount on it? I haven't even looked. It's
Well, it's on your phone, so you can either, whatever type of mount system
Okay.
you have for your phone. I know Oakley gave us a cup holder mount that goes into your cup holder, and you can zip your phone right on there. So it's very
good
And
deal.
the other piece just is a little puck thing that plugs in behind your ECM.
Yeah,
yeah, it's Bluetooth technology.
that's going to be nice. It would be real nice for us not buying any more Qualcomms.
Yeah.
That would be real nice. They're all expensive.
And run all the cables and things.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
tear out a man's dash and stuff.
Drilling hole, because when they did mine, they actually cracked my dash, and so
Okay. I think we covered a little bit of it, Rupert, but I was going to talk if somebody wanted to get an idea. Everybody's always curious why a guy would come back to Oakley, why he would leave, first of all, and then why, he's coming back. You want to share any of that with us?
Well, I had a few health issues pop up. That's the one reason why I left. I mean, it was hard to deal with some things while I was out on the road
And you were here how long?
for a little over a year and 7 months.
Okay.
And what made me come back is the people. Everybody they go out of their way to help you. If you have a question, if you're broke down on the shoulder of the road, all you got to do is pick up the phone call, and you have help. And everybody here wants to see you succeed. That's the main thing.
Very true with that.
If you have money issues, if you're not running the miles to make what you make, all you have to do is pick up the phone, call the dispatcher, say, "Hey, I'm short this week. Can I do something to get a little bit more money coming in?" He's helping you.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't find that at other companies. I haven't. You're just a number. Here, you're a name. That means a lot.
That's good. That's very well said, because that's what we want to try to be.
Yeah.
I mean, we want you guys to succeed. Now, we all know there's going to be problems that come up with whatever we hear. I mean, it's this dry bulk is a whole different ballgame, and we want people to succeed, but you're going to have issues. You're going to have problems, whether it's with trailer, whether it's with dispatch, whether it's safety, whether it's whatever. Customers, you're going to have those problems. It's all how you're going to handle those problems.
Yep.
You're going to get mad and frustrated, or you're going to take a deep breath and get through it, because it's a challenge doing this job and what we do. I mean,
Yep.
There's no doubt about it. This is not for everybody. you're gonna have to. You got to work. You got to kind of like it and enjoy it. But I agree with Rupert. You probably couldn't find any better people to work with.
No, you can't.
Than this.
And one thing that stuck out in my mind is I remember a couple months before I quit, my truck burnt down. I was up here in Little Rock, and I took it over here to Kenworth. And for 2 days, I was sitting there in the shop, and you called me up and asked me, "Is there anything I can do for you?" That meant the most.
Good.
Somebody just calling and saying, "Hey, you need something? We're here for you."
Well, I mean, you got to see it from our perspective. We need you guys. It's not like we're just leasing you on here just to lease you on. I mean, we need you. We need you to be working, you know, for the most. I mean, that's, you sit out here and most of the time, I mean, there are times when freight struggles, but majority of the time, we're sitting out here, these dispatchers sitting out here trying to figure out how to cover loads. That's a great problem to have.
Oh, yeah.
Great problem to have. And, you know, if we try to help people, you know, that get in a bind, or if we can know somebody or help get a truck out of a shop or get, you know, anything. I mean, we've done all kinds of stuff to help guys go and get them back on the road and make money. And that's so you can be successful. And that's the plan with us throughout the deal. So remember that, you know, when you guys ever need anything, we get going here, you let us know. And, you know, don't feel like you can't call us, because you can call anybody here anytime, from me to Dennis Oakley. It don't matter. You can call us, and we'll try to help you the best we can. Anything else on y'all's mind you want to share?
Oh, I had shared a story with Randolph there about my first experience with Oakley, which took place maybe 4 years ago. The KW dealership there, I was working for another company, and the truck was broke down. I was up in Wisconsin, and it was cold winter, and the truck was barely made it back here, and so I ended up there, and they couldn't do it, so I had to get towed off, and there's a little gas station, a little truck stop right next to the KW dealership. So the tow truck made me there, and I got next to this fella that was hooked to an Oakley trailer, dump trailer. And I seen him kind of around his truck, and I apologized to him because my truck was going to have to run all night, and I was having governor issue, the air governor, and it was just noisy, you know, and I was like, I'm like, driver, I'm real sorry. I'm going to run this thing, and I need the heat. It was like 14 degrees that night. And that feller, he said, man, I live 2 blocks from there. And he took me, he said, get your clothes, get you some stuff, and he put me up at his house that weekend.
How about that?
And I said, and I just remember thinking, I never forgot that. And I was like, you know, if that's the attitude of the fellers over here at Oakley, I said, man, I want to be around that.
Who was that guy?
His first name was Nate. Randolph says he remembers him. I don't recall his last name, but he's a fellow that lives up in Minnesota, but he has a summer house or winter house. He'll come down here in Arkansas and live there. He said he don't think he's here anymore, but
I'll have to try to find out.
Yeah, he was. I'm talking 4 or 5 years ago, and I still remember that.
That's good. That's the kind of people we want. That's the kind of people you guys seem to be too. So you'll probably make you some lifelong friends here at Oakley.
Hope so.
Yes.
Looking forward to it.
Well, you already made a couple, haven't you?
Yep.
Yep.
Y'all gonna stay in touch?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, him and I are practically neighbors. He lives
Yeah.
in Baytown, and I'm in Houston, so.
Oh yeah. Y'all communicate a lot then.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to give him my phone number. That way, if he has any questions, call me up.
That's a good idea. I appreciate that too. Yeah, because our training method over here, Tommy, is not real good. We try to hook you with somebody, you know, for you to follow, and you know, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. It's hard. It's hard to do, you know, but we're trying.
Yeah, it's hard when you get 2 trucks and try to send them in the same direction all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, and you got to have that
But I'm
trainer.
a quick learner, so.
You got to have that trainer that's willing to do that.
Yeah.
You know, change his little habits to where you can shadow him a little for a few days. But we got some good ones out there that like to do it too. So,
I really think the key is exchanging phone numbers, because when I left tankering in the flatbed, I had about 0 experience, and so I had made some connections, And I would be calling these guys 15 times a day. Just look at this. I got to do this, and calm down. Send us some pictures. We'll tell you where to put chain. And that's what it was getting hooked up with some of these veteran drivers here, just getting their phone numbers. And when you're one of the, because you're going to get in those spots, you're going to be looking at going like, oh my word, what do I do? Well, let me call Larry. Hey Larry, what's up, man? Hey dude, I've been there. You do this, and that's worth more than gold to me.
Yeah.
No, Randolph asked me if I minded him shadowing me for a couple of days. I don't mind a bit.
There you go. That might work out.
Yeah. I don't know whether they approved it or not.
I don't either.
But it's worth a shot.
So today's Wednesday. Y'all getting out tomorrow with a load?
I presume, yeah.
Yep.
Everything's about done, isn't it?
Everything is done.
I appreciate y'all taking time to come up here and just visit a little bit. Okay, folks, that's all the time we have for this episode of the Oakley Podcast. I want to thank my guests, John, Tommy, and Rupert, for speaking with us today and telling us their story. I also want to thank our listeners for your continued support of our program. Please help us spread the word by sharing the episode of the Oakley Podcast, and be sure and follow us on all the social media platforms. If you're interested in contacting Oakley Trucking, give us a call. We'd be glad to answer all your questions and talk to you about leasing on with Oakley Trucking. As always, I'm Jeremy Kellett, and we'll see you next week with a brand new episode of the Oakley Podcast.